Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. We are live here on 103.9 FM, WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. If you missed any of the show, want to go back, listen to the archives. You can't listen in the mornings from 7 to 9. You can always check out the podcast. It's usually up and loaded by about 10:30. It's taking me a little bit longer now than it used to. I'm clipping it up more and trying to do better with my descriptions so more people out there in the internet land can find it. Anyway, just search Clay Edwards Show wherever you download podcasts, stream music, audiobooks, Audible, and, of course, YouTube, Rumble. That should just about cover it there. Of course, you can always follow me on Facebook, where I post links to all this stuff. Just go at SaveJXN across all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. X is a dumpster fire. But we're definitely on there having that dumpster fire culture war with all the left-wing nut jobs here in the state of Mississippi. You know, it took me a couple years to get on the left-wing radar outside of just Black Jackson. The white crazies have officially found me. And, man, they have been great for business. I'm just going to tell you, look, a rage listen, a rage view, a rage share pays just as much as a friendly fire. So, you know, it's something else to know. You know, I'm just going to tell you, I get a chuckle every day. Every time I get that TikTok deposit into my checking account or whatever it is, Facebook money, Instagram money, every time I get that little notification, Meta has sent you ... X amount of money. TikTok has sent you ... X amount of money. I'm like, man, shout out to the haters. Shout out to the haters. Couldn't do it without y'all. I mean, real talk. Real talk. All right. Here in the studio on this Monday morning, if there's a man in this world that can talk better than me, it is rodeo madman himself, Mr. Mack Ginn. Mack, good morning, brother.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me, Clay.
Yes. Is it Ginn or Ginn?
It's Ginn.
Ginn. Okay. So I got it right. Got it right. Well, man, we had the pleasure of getting to know each other, meet each other last year with the Keith Killebrew Memorial Rodeo. And it's just the Killebrew Rodeo now, right? They kind of shortened the name somewhere along the way.
Killebrew International Pro Rodeo.
Killebrew International.
You're talking about the largest IPRA rodeo in America, boasting over 600 cowboys and cowgirls competing for over $200,000 in 3 days.
It's the largest one west of Mississippi, right? East of Mississippi.
No. That's the different rodeo. This rodeo was with the International Professional Rodeo Association, and this rodeo is the largest IPRA rodeo in America.
Wow. That's awesome. Man, it won all sorts of awards last year. Best new rodeo, all kind of things.
Yeah, best new rodeo of the year and best indoor rodeo of the year. That's over 600 rodeos throughout the United States and Canada. So, yeah, it came out on top in a big way. Mr. Jeremy and Ms. Robin Smith with Deep South Rodeo Productions just were kind of in the driver's seat, literally helping this rodeo buck its way out of the shadows and into the limelight.
But they did a great job last year. You know, my girlfriend's big rodeo.
That's right.
Big rodeo person, has been her better part of her whole life. So we went to the Friday night last year, and like she was impressed with everything. And I kind of gauge, you know, her experience doing this more so than mine. And she was very impressed with how it was all put together and everything. But what I thought was cool is some people will call it luck. I call it preparation and hard work meeting a little luck. But when the bull poker rodeo with the suicide poker, whatever it's called, that Friday night, and look, you can call it luck, call it whatever. When that girl went airborne, I looked around people. I watched people get up and go to the box office and buy tickets for Saturday night. And I had people texting me and tweeting me and everything else talking about, man, we like people that won tickets to the radio show.
Right.
They're like, man, we just bought tickets for Saturday night. That was awesome. And I think what Saturday night did bigger than the Friday night, right?
And bull poker is back this year.
I made one note for our conversation this morning, and that was it. Let's just jump straight to it. Is bull poker back?
Bull poker is back this year, along with the Pen of Adrenaline, which you chickened out on last year.
That's not 100% true. I went down there, went around, got out there, couldn't figure out how to get to the Pin of Adrenaline.
Oh.
I even left Allison up on the little VIP stage by herself so I could go get in the Pin of Adrenaline, and came back very dejected.
Well, maybe we can get that eradicated this year. Maybe we can
I was thinking about it on the way in.
For you.
I was like, I really want to get in the Pin of Adrenaline this year because I was very jealous. Because I'm just in there thinking, as a content creator, talking about TikTok and all this other stuff, I need to be live in the Pin of Adrenaline.
Man, what are you talking? Wouldn't that be something? And not only would you be live, like on TikTok or Facebook or wherever you're going, this year, this is nationally televised with our friends on the Cowboy Channel.
Oh, really?
That's right. Live on the Cowboy Channel, your second annual Killebrew International Pro Rodeo. It's just going to be a great weekend.
So it all starts Thursday?
That's right. It starts
this Thursday.
Starts Thursday at 7 p.m. this week. Thursday is strictly bull riding. We're calling it the Bull Extravaganza, and you can walk up to the box office and buy tickets there. Friday and Saturday night, the top cowboys and cowgirls, that's where they come and kick up the heat and compete in all of the 8 standard rodeo events, from the bareback and the saddle bronc riding to the cowgirls and the breakaway roping, the calf roping, steer wrestling, team roping, barrel racing, and then, of course, the most dangerous 8 seconds on earth, bull riding, nightly, Friday night and Saturday night. And to get tickets for Friday and Saturday, you can go on Ticketmaster.com, or, if you had a little time off today, maybe you're tooling around Jackson, you can just drive up to the box office. And they're open today. You can drive to the box office and go ahead and purchase those and have the hard tickets in your hand.
Hey, and let me tell you, a lot of people on my show, and God knows I'm as guilty of it as anybody, there's a big warning label that comes with Jackson. And I'm just going to tell y'all, the last couple of events down there at the fairgrounds over the last couple of years, this rodeo, the previous 2 Dixie Nationals, and the State Fair, Andy Gibson and the team, Capitol Police, Hinds County Sheriff's Department, JPD, they have ratcheted up security down there so much that it may very well be, at least during events, the safest place in the state of Mississippi.
The safest place in the state of Mississippi, no doubt.
And I ain't being hyperbolic either. Look, that's real talk.
And that's 100 acres behind the fence. So it's not like you're going into a small area. Guys, I'm telling you, the security there through Ag Commissioner Andy Gibson is absolutely phenomenal. It's as safe as any place you would want to go and carry your family, and carry them to an event that promotes God, family, and country. It promotes the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, just like your show.
Yes.
And, that right there says a lot for rodeo.
Oh, it does. Look, man, I was inundated with people who recognized me last year, rodeo folks, and they listened to the show and stuff. And I'm like, man, it's so cool. I fancy myself as being from Jackson because I grew up in South Jackson, but we moved a neighborhood or 2 over, and I ended up in Byram for high school. So Byram at the time, of course, it's a Walmart now. My life has turned into a country song, literally. It's a Walmart now, but it used to be like the rodeo high school in central Mississippi was Byram, and they had all the cowboys parked up on the hill as they did. Anyway, that's when I kind of got into that lifestyle somewhat. So to fast forward almost 30 years, and to have so many people that do rodeoing and all that stuff listening to the show and supporting me, it's kind of like life coming full circle. It's really cool. Good folks.
Good folks. You were talking earlier. Now, you're worldwide with this show, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually getting texts from Madison County, Florida saying, hey, we hear you.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome. We've actually got some listeners down in Florida. Some of them have even sent me gifts. So it's really neat knowing that we got folks in Florida, and I've got some people that I know over in Saudi Arabia and over in the Middle East that get up and listen. I don't know what time of day it is there. It may be bedtime, but it's unique knowing that we got such the reach that we do from this little old First Amendment outpost here in Florida, Mississippi.
Man, that's awesome, man. This rodeo this weekend, it's literally the hottest ticket in town. There's nowhere else you can go and take your family and have that kind of entertainment for that kind of price tag. And you go to Ticketmaster.com. The tickets range from like $20 or $25 up to however much you want to spend, depending on where you want to sit. But you can take your family to the rodeo. You can take little Johnny and Susie all the way up to your elderly grandparents, and you're not going to have to explain to little Johnny and Susie, hey, what that meant. You're not going to be embarrassed by something that's said or done in front of your grandparents, and it's just really family-friendly Christian entertainment.
You know, and y'all know what month June is, and I'm not. This is Clay Edwards speaking, not the rodeo folks. Y'all know what month June is. You know what we're being inundated with every time you cut on the internet, the TV. It's the rainbow nonsense absolutely everywhere. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and guess that you're not going to have any of those type events down there at the rodeo this weekend. So, one of the things that we talk a lot about is how you fight back against this nonsense, how you fight back in this culture war, how you fight back against Pride Month and all of that without being a bigot, so to say.
Right.
Is you just get out and you go do family stuff.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just go ignore it, which I get paid to not ignore it, but normal people ignore it. Do your stuff, go enjoy life, enjoy your kids, enjoy your family, and just stay away from it. And I can assure you, the rodeo is probably going to be a good, safe space from that nonsense.
Man, what are you talking about? And speaking of family, I had the opportunity this weekend, just randomly, somebody pointed out this really pretty young lady to me. The girl goes, that's Clay Edwards' daughter. I said, Clay Edwards from the Clay Edwards Show? I said, I'll be with him Monday. And guys, I'm telling you, I had to take a selfie with this young lady. She was so stunning. And I sent it to Clay, and I said, Clay, how in the world did a young lady this gorgeous come from your loins? His response was, Mac, honestly, I've had DNA tests done, and I can assure you she's mine, but even I'm shocked. So yeah. I hope you and your family will be there this weekend as well.
Well, we will be. We will be. I tell you what, the Thursday night thing, and what do they call it? What do they call the bull riding qualifying stuff?
So this rodeo,
y'all call it slack.
Yeah, they call it slack. Some people do, but really this rodeo is set up a little different. This is really like a long go and 2 short goes right there, or 2 rounds of the short go. So the way this works, every cowboy and cowgirl that enters the rodeo is required to come compete all day long on Thursday. Now, during the day, there's not a lot of lights, bells, and whistles, a little background music, names, times, scores called. We have to get through a lot. I mean, like I said, 600 contestants. So all of the contestants and all of the events. But then we're like, hey, we're going to have a lot of bull riders here. You're talking about 40-plus probably bull riders. Why don't we're probably going to be bucking those well into the night anyway. Let's have a bull extravaganza.
Why don't we monetize this?
Let's do this. Let's have a bull extravaganza. Everybody loves the most dangerous 8 seconds on earth. But when it's all said and done, all of the timed events, all of the roping events, your bulldogging, and your barrel racing, the top 16 cowboys and cowgirls will come back for the weekend. In the bull riding, you have the top 20. So out of all of that, all of the timed events, the top 16, that means we'll run 8 in each event on Friday night, 8 in each event on Saturday night, and the bull riding, 10 on Friday night, 10 on Saturday night, which creates for a long, awesome show now. I'm talking about action-packed from the time you get there until the time that you leave. And what you have are the top cowboys and cowgirls. So when they've competed in the longo, that longo has a payout. That pays out, well, like $100,000, That pays out 50%. And then the best of the best that come back and compete Friday and Saturday night, they're competing for the other 50%.
So how much in cash and prizes y'all got this year?
Like $200,000.
That's big time, man.
Big time, yeah.
That's big time. Let's take a break. We bumped up against the wall here. We got Mack Ginn in studio today talking about the Killebrew International Rodeo this weekend, starting Thursday night at the Jackson Coliseum, or the Mississippi Coliseum, whatever they call it now. We'll be right back. We got more of it. I want to get into Mack, man. How did Mack get into being a rodeo announcer? I love origin stories, man. You never know where you may find a little bit of motivation from.
Wow.
This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back.
about that.
Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on 103.9 FM WYAB. It is the free-range human show of choice. We got in the studio this morning with the Killebrew International Rodeo, Mr. Rodeo announcer himself, and just all around most interesting man in the world, Mack Ginn. Hey, real quick, man, if you're looking for something to eat for lunch today, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, Flowood, Mississippi. Get by, check out the new location. Did you know they have plate lunches there also? They're not just a burger joint. They're not just a chicken wing joint. They're not just the best cheese sticks in all of central Mississippi joint. They have blue plates as well. Today's special is chicken, fried chicken. And, of course, you can always get hamburger steak every day at Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. And you got the best hamburger around. You offer hamburger steak if you do a plate lunch. It would make sense. It wouldn't make sense not to. The sides today are mashed potatoes, green beans, and potato salad. Don't forget, Wednesday night is right before we get ready for the big rodeo stuff starting Thursday. Wednesday night is our final round of the Cordless Corner open mic competition. We got 3 different acts getting ready to battle it out for cash, prizes, studio time, interviews with media outlets, and a live headlining performance at an upcoming festival in downtown Brandon called 042 Nights. So a lot to play for. It's gotten better and better every week. Starts at 7, runs till about 10. You will not regret it. The crowds have gotten bigger and bigger every week, and that has been a testament to the talent that we've got playing. Mac, I say this all the time. As I've gotten older, I've realized what Mississippi's greatest export is.
What's that?
What do you think it is?
Well, if you listen to old Jerry Clower tapes, great Mississippian Jerry Clower, he says moon pies.
Moon pies. Are those from Mississippi?
I don't know.
Well, Jerry Clower's a great example, though. It's us.
Right.
We are our greatest export. If you think about things Mississippians have done, especially when it comes to music, arts, Hollywood, just everything, man.
Literature,
man, especially literature. Mississippians are our greatest export. And I've been a judge at this event here for the last, but it's going to be running 6 weeks total, I think, by the time it's said and done. I got honored to be one of the judges, and like, how did I become qualified to be a judge of a music competition? I have no clue, but because I'm just blown, I'm like, everybody gets a 4. That's like the high score.
Right.
Like, I don't want to give anybody less than a 4, but because I'm just blown away at their talent. And before I got into content creation, and that's what this is at the end of the day, is content creation. And I would be a little more critical of stuff and stuff that people would put out. And I'm like, man, that ain't no good. You know, and then of course you start having to hear that back from people about your baby.
Right.
And you get a lot more dull of an edge when it comes to judging people's artistic creations. And I don't quite have the sharp tongue I used to when it comes to that. But man, we are just so blessed to have the talent we do in Mississippi.
You know, we hit on Jerry Clower, and Clay. This show is so successful for one reason. You're Clay Edwards. There's only one Clay Edwards. And Jerry Clower also said that if you want to get ahead in the world and you want to be successful, be yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing it, dude. It's a great show.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It means the world to hear that from you. I tell you, Stone Cold Steve Austin's probably he's my guy. You know, like that, his rise and my age and my 15, 16, 17 years old, whatever it was, as he was kind of coming up, breaking rules when necessary, as we like to say around here. He said that he tried other versions of that character along the way. And finally, he was allowed to just turn his personality up to 11, and it was just an extension of him, and that became his most successful version of that character was himself, just turned up to 11, and that's kind of how I look at it every morning. Believe it or not, I'm a rather mild-mannered, quiet person that keeps to myself outside of the internet and on this radio show. You see me out and about, I'm kind of I wouldn't say a loner, but I'm quiet. I sit in the corner. I don't start a whole lot of conversations. But man, when you get into doing this, it is wide open. You got to get into zone. About like you, I imagine, with when you're doing the rodeo announcing. I mean, you got to get into a zone and flip a switch.
You do. It's all about entertainment. It's all about honoring God, family, and country. And this weekend, talk about turning up to 11. We're turning it up to 11 this weekend. Yeah. There's a reason for this rodeo. It's not just bringing cowboys and cowgirls here and padding their pockets with big payouts and contractors making money and entertaining entertaining rodeo fans. This is a brainchild of Dr. Alyssa Killebrew. Killebrew Cotton Company, her late husband Keith, his twin brother Heath, who still runs Killebrew Cotton Company. You know, they had a dream to do something to ensure the future of agriculture and help that. If you didn't know, according to the USDA, the average age of the Mississippi farmer, of the farmer anywhere in America, is 57 and a half years old. Now, we woke up this morning. I stopped and got a biscuit on the way here. I put clothes on my back. I had a roof over my head. And you thank a farmer for all of that. 57 and a half years old. If we don't get young people in this, if we don't afford them the opportunity to get in this, where are we going to be in a decade? Man, greatest president, in my opinion, ever. Ronald Reagan always said we're one generation away at all times from losing our freedom and losing everything that we have. And the Killebrew Cotton Company,
we're closer now than
along
ever.
with the Killebrew Ag Foundation, man, they've done a new spin on this thing. They're awarding scholarships to young men and women that are fresh out of high school that want to pursue a career in agriculture, but they've taken it a step further. This year, they've taken a young man under their wing, Riley Patton, and he's actually working for them on their farm. It's like an apprenticeship program, just like when you get out of med school or something, you got to go through. You got to shadow somebody. You got to learn what it's like in the real world, and that's what they're doing with these young people. They're not just showing them how to put seeds in the ground. I said before, and I'll say it again, it's not just your granddaddy, 2 mules, and a plow anymore. This is a very technical industry. Not only are they teaching them how to do it, they're teaching them how to do it right. They're teaching them how to stay on the cutting edge of agricultural technology and how to do it in the most economical manner possible.
Well, there's real science behind farming.
Absolutely.
You know, like I said, it ain't just your granddaddy, 2 mules, and a cow anymore.
That's right.
You know, I wish it was.
The good old days.
You know, well, I'm glad you brought that up. We'll run it. We'll take a couple minutes extra here. Keith Killebrew, the man this rodeo is in honor of, or memorial of, however you want to phrase that, he passed away in a untimely plane crash. I guess there's never a good time for a plane crash.
No.
Overseas, doing just that, right?
That's correct.
Teaching kids in another country about farming and
right.
how to do this very thing. So the fact that this is what this is the nexus of the rodeo is carrying on his memory. And I'm glad you brought that up because I can get so caught up in just talking about the action that there's a cause that initiated all this, and that is to save farming in America. I mean, truly educate our future farmers of America and get kids into farming. So I think that's a great cause there. Let's do this. Let's take a break and try to stay on schedule here. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We got Mack Ginn with the Killebrew International Rodeo starting this Thursday night with a bull riding extravaganza Thursday night, and then the full rodeo, cowboys, cowgirls, all that fun stuff will start Friday and Saturday night. And, of course, they're bringing back the infamous, the super viral clip that everybody saw around the world of the poor girl getting flipped up in the air 11 times playing bull poker. It was so cool. I'm glad she's okay. But, man, she's the VIP this year.
Not only okay, she's back.
Yeah.
Like, she is fired up.
She's playing again?
I don't know if she's playing again, but, like, she's wanted to. I guess she's one of Alyssa's very close friends now.
Yeah.
And they have literally called me on the phone throughout the year a couple of different times, just sort of getting the game plan for her. So, we shall see.
If y'all had put Clay Edwards in charge of marketing this year, we'd have had a 10-second clip of her getting flipped up in the air. It's back this year. See you on the dates.
No doubt.
That would have been it. Sold. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Lakeland Glass and Tint. Guys, need your home, car, or business windows tinted, your vehicle's wrapped, turn it into a rolling billboard. We turned Mack's truck into a rolling Killebrew International Rodeo billboard for next year. And but they can do it all. You've been seeing a lot of these new Tesla trucks running around here. It ain't going to be long before you see one wrapped around here, and I know they're going to get it done at Lakeland Glass and Tint. I saw a guy on TikTok the other day saying, man, you're stupid if you're going to spend a bunch of money on like a digital billboard or something. He goes, go buy a Tesla truck for, what is it, 60 grand or so, and wrap it, and you're going to get more eyes. You're going to get more ROI than you could ever get off of a digital billboard or TV or anything else, because people are going to be snapping pictures of it. The news is going to wear off at some point. But in the short term, there's still like a space alien landed. And
especially when you have someone, there are a lot of people in my situation. I am very fortunate and blessed to announce rodeos from West Palm Beach, Florida to Bemidji, Minnesota, and from, the Carolinas out to Guthrie, Oklahoma, up to North Dakota. And the thing about me is I'm still a rodeo announcer that travels 98% of those times in a vehicle. Mm-hmm. Think about the miles I'm covering across this great nation and how much coverage you get everywhere you go like that versus just on that one billboard on the side of I-55.
100%. Look, I'm a big proponent of people wrapping their vehicles. Everything's different. Everybody's business model is different. Some people depend on clicks to a website. Some people depend on foot and traffic in a brick and mortar store. And I think if you're a local business and you got a brick and mortar store, man, people, and you're stuck in 8 or 5 o'clock traffic, you might as well be promoting yourselves.
No doubt.
And it's a great place to get that done. Lakeland Glass and Tint. And of course, they're doing automotive ceramic coating now to protect your paint from this enduring heat and sun. Actually, it's to protect your clear coat from this enduring heat and sun that we're about to have cast upon us for the next 6 months here in the dirty, dirty South. Go get your free quote today at LakelandGlassandTint.com. And, of course, don't forget they do windshields and automotive glass as well. That's where it all started. So, Lakeland Glass and Tint. Mack Ginn.
Man, we're talking about the Killebrew International Pro Rodeo. And this year, honoring 2 agricultural icons here in the Magnolia State. Cattleman of the Year comes to us from Louisville, Mississippi. A little background on the man. He grew up in a cattle farming family. The word is he actually purchased his first cow with his own money when he was 6 years old. And since then, he's just taken off wildfire. He's worked for the Mississippi Animal Health Department there for many, many years. And, he's Bubba Warner. Man, Bubba Warner is literally a legend in cattle farming in the state of Mississippi, and he is the Killebrew International Pro Rodeo Cattle Farmer of the Year. Now, on the flip side, this next man, he comes to us from the heart of the Mississippi Delta, Belzona, Mississippi's own man, Mr. Dennon Braswell Sr. He remembers probably when it was 2 mules and a plow.
Yeah.
Think about the technology he's seen and how he's seen farming evolve from putting seeds in the ground to what it's become today. And probably one of, if not the most successful row farmer in the Magnolia State. Putting food in our bellies, putting clothes on our backs. And we give both of them, Mr. Bubba Warner, Mr. Dennon Braswell Sr., a tip of our resist all, and we honor them this year at your Killebrew International Pro Rodeo.
I like it, man. I think it's great to educate people about where the food comes from.
Right. It doesn't come from your grocery store or Walmart.
No.
I mean, come on.
No, man, that's why I support local stores.
Yeah.
And I support local every time I get an opportunity, whether it's, we got a great sponsor down on the coast, Stonington Farms here. They do grass-finished
right.
beef. And, man, when Andy Gibson, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here. What Andy Gibson did, allowing our cattle farmers, cattle ranchers, to be able to sell direct to consumer, that bill they did, I forget the nuts and bolts of it all, but long story short, we can buy direct from from our cattle farmers now. And man, I tell you, what a great thing to be able to support our farmers directly and cut the middleman out.
Not only does it support those farmers, I have seen organizations, different groups, FFA groups, they always, people have to do fundraisers. They're literally raffling off sides of beef, and they're purchasing this, a whole cow or something, a whole piece of beef, and 2 or 3 families go in together, and buy these raffle tickets, and they're purchasing this from local cattle farmers. So it's not only helping the local cattle industry, it's raising money for the future farmers of America, or whatever organization, is doing that. And I think it's a great thing all the way around.
Well, that's great. I'm going to have to find one of those raffles, because I'm always looking to, A, help, and B, win something.
That's right.
I don't know who's calling, but let's take a call here real quick on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Hi, I just wanted to call in. I didn't want to interrupt your primary topic, but when you brought up Stonington Farms, I just had to call in. I have listened to you, and I thought, okay, I'm going to give it a try. I want you to know, Clay, that boy, oh boy, there are no words to describe the quality and tremendous. It was the most delicious beef I have ever had in my life. And honestly, I ordered a bunch of ground beef, and then when I got it and I looked at it, I thought, oh my gosh, this doesn't even look like grocery store ground beef. And so I went ahead and got a couple of roasts that I wanted to prepare for a couple church potlucks. And everyone said, where did you get that? And so I just wanted to call in and let you know that you are absolutely right. There really and truly is such a tremendous difference in both taste and quality. I was astonished. To be honest, I wasn't sure if I was going to really believe it, but I thought, yeah, I want to try it. And when I tried it, look, I was so overwhelmed that I bought extra and gave it to friends and said, you have to try this. So I just want to let you know that you're absolutely right, and I appreciate you vetting your sponsors, and you're absolutely right. This place is amazing, and I loved it, and thank you so much for bringing it to my attention. And everybody else that I've fed also thanks you, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for listening and supporting these great sponsors. And look, I was out there Friday at the Home Depot picking up my order, and it's the biggest crowd I've seen there yet as they come up here to bring their monthly order. So I could tell it's working, and word of mouth is spreading.
Let me tell you another thing. I was delayed at going to pick up my order in Ridgeland, and they were kind enough. I called them and I said, I am so sorry. I'm on my way. There was a car accident in front of me. And they sat and waited for me. I mean, they're not just great producers. They are great people. And I was like, oh, thank you. I promise I'm coming. And they sat and waited for me, which they're just great people.
Well, that's the difference in doing business with the owner of a small business and doing business with an hourly employee that's just waiting to get off. And that's the difference.
Absolutely.
That's why we support these great sponsors.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for promoting them. And I wish everyone would listen, and I can tell you, there is not just a little bit of difference. It's a huge difference.
It ain't the same piece of meat.
Not at all.
Not at all. Hey, look, we're going to jump off here. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. She said something about it was so good that she bought some. We're talking about Stonington Farms, our beef sponsor here on the show. Right. And she said it was so good. I bought some to give to other people so they could experience it. I did the same thing. They had a case of beef special, ground beef special. Right. It's like 30 pounds for X amount of dollars last month. So I bought the 30 pounds. I kept 10, gave the girlfriend 10, gave another buddy of mine and his wife 10 pounds. And so I'm picking up my fresh order Friday, and I hear my buddy's name get called, but I didn't see him. He done sent his daughter to go pick up his next order. But that's community. That's supporting businesses that do good business, and that's keeping it here in Mississippi. And that's what this show's really all about. Outside of holding people accountable for bad actions, is spreading the word about great events like the Killebrew International Rodeo.
Oh, and it's so much more than a rodeo. We've mentioned bull poker. We've mentioned the pen of adrenaline. But on top of all the standard Western events and the bull poker, the pen of adrenaline, you'll also see my man from France there. Mano Latasse is a bull jumper extraordinaire.
They call him a bullfighter, right?
No, he's a bull jumper.
They had the Mexican bullfighters last year, right?
That's right. And this guy right here, I mean, he literally stands flat-footed in the arena, and they let out one of those hot Mexican bulls, and he runs that, and he literally jumps like 10 feet in the air and jumps over these bulls. I'm telling you, he is, I mean, you can look him up. His social media is Mano Latasse, M-A-N-U-L-A Taste, L-A-T-A-S-T-E, bull jumper extraordinaire. Check him out. You can see him live in the Coliseum, but there's more. Acrobats on two wheels, a pair of guys that go strictly, I'm telling you, their main gig these days, take two guys on motorcycles. Hey, let's put them in a rodeo arena. Let's see what kind of acrobatics they can do on two wheels. Like, I don't know, maybe we'll see them jump over some farm equipment or something.
Maybe. Like
that. Who knows? You got to come see, and you can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com or at the Coliseum, and we hope to see you there.
Let me say this. I'm sure this has been said before, but rodeo is the first real extreme sport, right?
Oh, it is the original American sport.
It is. I mean, there ain't nothing more Americana than rodeo.
I like to say that rodeo is a magnificent sport, but it's encompassed by one of the most phenomenal lifestyles on God's green earth. And it really is. Each event, I would call that a sport. But as a whole, it's really a lifestyle.
100%.
Absolutely.
I know there's some weekend dress-up cowboys, but there ain't no weekend cowboys. There ain't no weekend rodeo. I mean,
you want to get somebody. You want to get somebody on define the definition of a real cowboy that makes his living doing that every day, and one that starches his jeans and shirts and puts on his boots and shines up and goes to do pretty stuff. You ought to invite David Funchess on this show.
Oh, man, David knows he's got an open invite anytime he wants to come on the show. My only concern with David is, like some people, I don't know if David can watch his mouth enough to come on. I can't keep the censor button.
There is no filter there.
No. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with Mack Ginn. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line here is 601-879-0002. When we come back from our top of the hour break, we're going to figure out a way to give away not one, but two family 4-packs for your choice of nights this weekend at the Killebrew International Rodeo. So stay tuned for that. Coming up here in about 7 minutes, we're giving away two family 4-packs. We got Mack Ginn in the studio talking all about the big rodeo this weekend. We will be right back in 7 minutes. Boom goes the dynamite. It's the most incendiary show on the radio. It's hour 2 of the Clay Edwards Show. We're not being very incendiary this morning. We're here for a good cause today. I'm joined here in the studio by Mack Ginn. He is the announcer of the big upcoming Killebrew International Rodeo, starting this Thursday with a bull riding extravaganza. First off, anytime you call something an extravaganza, you know it's the real deal. You can't just say extravaganza and it not be an extravaganza.
Extravaganza meaning over the top.
Over the top, extreme.
Right, extreme.
Extreme, over the top.
You say I'm the rodeo announcer. Boy, I'm one of two voices there. Last year I had the opportunity team up with a good friend of mine from Holly Pond, Alabama, Mr. Adam Gibbs, right there beside me, shoulder to shoulder on the microphone. This year, we're going to put a little different spin on things. I can remember the days of going to rodeos in that arena, and man, great rodeo announcer Mike Mathis, the late Mike Mathis, would ride out in that arena on that pretty paint horse and just wow the crowd. And Adam will be out there on the dirt this year on a horse commanding the microphone. I'll be co-parting with him right there in the announcer stand, going back and forth. So you get a lot of bang for your buck. And, hey, Mr. Jeremy, Ms. Robin Smith, Deep South Rodeo Productions, they've teamed us up with a top 5 rodeo clown of the year in the IPRA. Rodeo entertainer, Mr. Colt Hart. We call him Colt 45. And I'm telling you, he's literally sillier than a set of windshield wipers on a billy goat. More random than a monkey eating a corn dog, I guarantee you, and he'll keep you in stitches all weekend long.
Mac, how does one get into becoming a rodeo announcer?
Oh, man. Everybody has a different story. Clay, my story. I didn't grow up in a rodeo family. I didn't grow up rodeoing. I didn't even pick up a rope until I was 32 years old. A
lot of times it's just like, hey, can you talk? Here's the microphone.
That's exactly right.
Our guy didn't show up.
For me, boy, like I said, I never even picked up a rope or anybody showed me how to rope. As a matter of fact, the man that showed me how to twirl a rope from Lexington, Mississippi, also taught a lot of people right here in Florida. Mr. Butch Cox was an icon in team roping and calf roping. And he spent a little time with me, in my early 30s and taught me how to rope with the basics. And honestly, I never was that really good at it. I just found out that the times that I picked up a check were the times that the people that did this every day of the week were slipping a leg and getting 5 extra penalty points, 5 extra penalty seconds, or breaking a barrier, or just flat missing. And with my career I had at the time, I was a safety director for a large construction company here in Mississippi, and they gave me the opportunity to teach classes for the better part of 20-something years. I taught a lot of classes for them. I did some public speaking at different safety conferences and thought, I'm not afraid to speak in front of people, and I love rodeo, and I want to find where my round peg fits in their round hole. And, boy, they gave me the opportunity to start picking up a microphone and speaking in front of people, and I haven't looked back. I've enjoyed it. I'm very blessed to get to do what I love for a living. I promise you I don't go to work not a single day in my life anymore.
Me either. And what it does for the soul to know.
Oh, man.
That you're working for yourself as much as you can anyway. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah, it's independent contracting anyway. It is an awesome feeling. So you got started a little later in this. This isn't something that, when you're talking about you were learning to rope in your 30s.
I didn't pick up a microphone until I was 39.
That's just 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. 10 years this year. I've been behind a microphone, and, boy, it's been good to me. For 2 years now, this has been my main source of income. Now, I have other avenues,
sure,
as any pro rodeo announcer will tell you, that you want to focus on this and make it your main source of income if you can, but you always need to be open to other options.
Yeah, well, it's like with this.
Correct.
I picked up the microphone for the first time 4 or 5 years ago, and almost started with podcasting before I got on the radio. But we're going on, I think February will be 4 years of doing this. As it's only been full time since August, or like only source of income since August, right, so to say. But it's fun. It's fun picking up something later in life and realizing, hey, I think I can do this, or I want to do it. I went 12 years, man, where I was in the car business and hated every day of it.
Man.
Hated every day of it. I was like, this cannot be what life is like.
I didn't hate every day
Yeah.
of my regular career. I loved being a safety director. I loved that industry. I loved educating people. I loved helping people. Don't get me wrong. Company I worked for, great company. They were good to me, and they're still good to me. They've still afforded me the opportunity to do some consulting work and things for them on the side. But you're right. Waking up every day knowing that, boy, I love my life. And I'm doing what I love for a living. There's a freedom in that unfortunately, a lot of people may never know.
No, I wasn't straddled with a bunch of student loan debt, and I've been able to do some different things. I owned nightclubs for about 12 years, my first kind of full-time career, early 20s into my mid-30s there, and then that bottomed out, and I didn't save my money. And I had to go get a real job. And coming from being that independent and living that kind of that rock star lifestyle for a long time, it wasn't healthy either, by the way, but I enjoyed it. I lived my 20s twice, as I like to say. And having to get in there and go do something. And when I say I hated every day of the car business, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I met a lot of great people along the way, lifelong friends. I've recruited a lot of people into that business who are now general managers and done very, very well for themselves. And I feel like I've got a golden parachute to get back in it if I ever have to. But I just knew, you talked about you don't wake up a single day and go to work.
No.
I felt like I woke up every day and went to work.
I understand.
Because I wouldn't have been doing it. It was not a born passion, battling with people about money all day. At the end of the day, it was not fun. If I'm going to battle people, I'd rather it be in the political arena than across from each other at a desk about, I want to save $5 a month. So anyway, found something I love. I'm glad you found something you love. We got a couple tickets to give away, don't we?
Man, yeah.
Told them we were going to do it this segment here.
Cool. 2 family 4-packs to the night of your choice, Killebrew International Pro Rodeo, this weekend in the Mississippi Coliseum.
This is for Friday or Saturday nights, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, like don't take the family out to Friday or Saturday night. I'm gonna take the family out Thursday night too, for that matter. I think the bull ride. I think turning the slack into open, because I heard about it last year and didn't know what slack was, and Allison had to explain to me. I'm like, and I want to go watch that.
And once again, slack is sort of like the spillover. You can't run everybody in the show, or we would be there for days.
Yeah.
I mean, you really want to keep that show 2 to 2.5 hours, kind of a thing. Kind of like a movie. You go to the movies, 2.5 hour movie. You go see a 3 hour movie. The last 30 minutes, you're like, man, this is good, but boy, when's it going to be over?
They could have ended it if you.
That's right.
We went and saw a 3.5 hour Guns N' Roses show last year down on the coast. About 3 hours in, it's like, all right, I can't think of another song I need to hear.
There you go. But, we're bringing the bulls there. This rodeo doesn't have a slack. I mean, you're calling it slack on the front end. Really, it's a long go because the cowboys that you'll see on Thursday night competing in the bull extravaganza will actually take the top 20 from all of those cowboys and invite them back to the show. 10 of those will buck out on Friday night. The other 10 will buck out on Saturday night. And then in all the timed events, we'll take the top 16 and we'll run 8 on Friday night and 8 on Saturday night.
So in the bull riding on Friday, Saturday, there's a Friday night winner, a Saturday night winner?
No. So there's 50% of the payout, 50% of that $200,000 is going to be paid out in the long go for all of the cowboys and cowgirls competing on Thursday. The other 50% they'll be competing for on Friday and Saturday. So the times and scores that are posted up on Friday, the ones on Saturday will be competing against that to try to beat that.
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. I understand that now. I'm learning a new sport here, outside of just looking at it through my eyes. As far as the scoring and all that goes, and
that's kind of mine and Adam's job throughout the show is to entertain and inform you. So if you weren't there on Friday night, say we're going into the barrel racing, we might tell you that that last night. Miss Cassidy Smart, from Newton, Mississippi, posted up a 15.235 to be winning the rodeo right now. Cowgirls tonight are competing to try to get on the south side of that 15-235. That's just an example. We're going to keep you informed as to what got done on Friday night and what we're trying to beat on Saturday night.
I like it. You know, I have drifted away from ball team sports.
Yeah.
I just have. I'm not going to invest all of my time into something I have no control over. I have no control over enjoying rodeo either, but I'm not going to let Mississippi State ruin my week anymore. You know, like I took their loss yesterday. I took their elimination from the World Series yesterday. Fine, or regionals, whatever. Football. Not going to let it ruin my week anymore. Not going to let it define my week anymore. Pro sports. I'm not going to have I'm not going to have somebody kneel for the anthem and then me have to pull for that team because I like that team. I'm just not going to emotionally invest myself into that stuff anymore. And rodeo's been a great replacement for that, even later in life.
That's one thing you'll never see at a rodeo, whether it's this Killebrew International Rodeo or any other rodeo at any other level across the country. You'll never see a cowboy or a cowgirl kneeling for that national anthem. You'll see them there with their hats in their hands, hats over their hearts, and you'll see a lot of them standing on the back of those bucking chutes, literally lip singing. They're singing along with the national anthem.
I watched it with my own eyes based on where my seats were last year.
Right.
We were on that VIP thing and right next to the chutes there.
The bullpen.
The bullpen. And I was watching them down there, stopped, standing up, hat off their head, hand on their heart, singing along. And I was like, man, this is what it's all about right here. I became a big rodeo fan that day.
Cool. So how do you want to give away these tickets, brother?
Let's do it. Let's keep it simple. First 2 phone calls. We're going to go to a break. First 2 phone calls. Tell me why you want these tickets on the Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. If I do not answer after that, that means that somebody's already won them. So give us a call here during the break, 601-879-0002, and tell me why you want to go see the rodeo this weekend. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We got Mack Ginn here in the studio with us talking about the Killebrew International Rodeo starting this Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night at the Mississippi Coliseum. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com, but we're about to give 4 or 8 away for free. We'll be right back.
And go.
And go. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, we got Mack Ginn here in the studio. We're giving away some free tickets to the big rodeo this weekend, the Killebrew. Well, I'm sorry, it's just the Killebrew International Rodeo. Now, I got some bad news. We got our 2 winners, and I know a couple people got disconnected there. We had a little cross line. I do apologize, but we had to go to the next. We had to go to the next callers. Our winners are Keith McKeven. Let me see that sheet of paper. Make sure I'm pronouncing. I can't never pronounce Keith's last name right. Keith McKelvin. He's probably like, Clay, you know how to say my name. I butcher names. And look, and Brittany McEachern. Is that how we decided it sounded like? McCarran.
Congratulations, Brittany.
Congratulations, Keith and Brittany.
Yeah.
Y'all do need to text me and let me know what night y'all want to go. Text me on the Guns of Gear text line, 769-241-1944, and your tickets will be at will call for that night. So we'll get you taken care of there. I do apologize to the others. Maybe we'll end up with another pair or 2 to give away before it's all said and done. Mac, it's been a good time this morning, man.
Man, I have had a ball.
I've had a ball. We were joking earlier, just kind of shifting gears a little bit here.
Yeah. We
were joking earlier. You said that Trump ought to make me and David Funches his media representatives, his spokespeople.
No doubt. I can't even keep a straight face.
I can't either because look, I'm just thinking about all the lies that get spewed out of those press conferences now. With the current crew that's up there in the White House.
That's one thing they wouldn't get. They wouldn't get a lie between you. They might not like what either one of you have to say, but it would be true.
If I could pick, now that would be great. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm not being selfish, and I got to pick new White House press secretary,
yeah,
I'm going with Alex Jones.
There you go.
Like I could just see Alex leading that circus. And talking about all the stuff he does, it would be fabulous. If only for a day. Just a
spokesman for a day.
Spokesman for a day. There's been some that have only lasted a day or so. Trump had a trigger finger with some of those idiots.
That's a fact.
Man. Let's see here. So just kind of recapping for people that are just getting in their vehicles, kind of in and out this morning. Most people are in and out for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
This Thursday through Saturday.
Right.
Big old rodeo. We're bringing back the bull poker.
Absolutely.
Tell people what that is.
Bull poker. We'll get, 6 of our closest friends and put them around the poker table. And, boy, they have the chips stacked up and everybody gets dealt a hand. But the dealer just happens to be 2,000 pounds of big, bad, bellowing, humpback beast. That's the dealer. The dealer is the bull, and I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're at that table, and you happen to be the one that has drawn the straw that got the seat with his back to the bucking chute. I like to say that man probably has the hand full of aces and eights, the dead man's hand, kind of a thing. The last one that's left seating, they win a cool, crisp $500. It's just that simple.
It is that fun. It's the most fun thing. I've got my buddy Ty was texting a minute ago. He won the tickets last year, and he was who I was talking about. He took the Friday night. He saw that happen, and he bought tickets for night 2. I just remember this story. Right. He bought tickets for night 2 before he even left the building. He's like, that's the most fun I've had.
And don't think, like, oh, I'd never do that. Friday night, you know who won? A 72-year-old retired Army veteran from Pickens, Mississippi, Grady Abels.
I know who
won
didn't.
It last year.
I know who didn't win.
The young lady. Yeah.
But I mean,
I bet
it's been good for her.
She had the most fun out of it. Not only that.
She had the wildest ride.
I wish I had more information on what she's turned that into.
Me too.
She's turned that into like a philanthropy thing for like one of her favorite charities, and it's taken off like wildfire for her. I remember her getting in the arena, and our rodeo clown last year, Trent McFarland, he was like, lady, you don't want to do this. And she literally put her hands on her hips and she said, I can do this. I'm tough. I ride Harleys. He goes, okay, then here's your seat. And she got smoked twice.
Twice. I was supposed to say she got twice. And I mean, she dang near got thrown back up to her seat.
Yeah. My good friend, Zach Stevens, one of our bullfighters there, one of our cowboy protectors. I call them our guardian angels. After that second time, he gets her. She's stumbling up. He grabs her like around the waist, and his mouth is like right by her left ear, and he was saying something. I said, later I asked him, I said, Zach, what were you telling that lady? Now, you have to know Zach, and he's from Georgia. Zach said, man, I just grabbed that lady by the hams, and I told her, you got to go. He's coming back. He said, we got her to the wall just in time.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I got that video somewhere.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, mine too.
I've shown it. I show it weekly almost.
Yeah. It's taken on a life of its own.
It really has.
But I'm telling you, it's like if I was in charge of marketing, I'm just doing some TikTok reels and some Instagram, some reels for all the different social media platforms. Like round 2.
You know what?
This weekend. Come enjoy.
Clay, go to my page and share it. I'll tell you what. I'm going to post that video from last year on my Facebook page. If you're not a friend of mine, just, come friend me if I have any friend spaces left. I know they cap us out at 5,000. But Mack Ginn, just MackGinn. I'm going to post that like as soon as we go to our next break. Clay's going to share it. It's just a quick little TikTok video from last year's bull poker.
I like it. That's going to be a good time. So we got the I call it the silly stuff. Ain't nothing silly about it. I mean, because it ain't silly when that bull flips you up. We got the bull poker. We got the jumpers, the bull jumpers this year.
Manon Latasse, he comes to us from France. He is, you can look him up. It's like MANULATASTE. And
Yeah, I'd love to do the same thing. You're going to have to share that, and I'll share yours.
Yeah, bull jumper extraordinaire.
Yeah,
and
I know the bullfighters last year were really cool. I'd never seen like that before.
Man, that's cool. And the two guys that come in there, the acrobats on two wheels, the motorcycle jumpers, just that in itself, that's worth the price of admission.
Hey, there's an after party this year, right? No after party?
Not
I thought we were doing an after party.
Didn't quite make it this year.
Okay.
But, hey, I do know that, our Mississippi Highway Patrol in the last couple of years, they've reinstated the mounted patrol. And, boy, that, we say thank you to our Mississippi Highway Patrol officers, especially the guys on the mounted patrol. They keep so much law and order at a lot of events, places where the cars and stuff can't go. And thank you to them for doing that again, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys, well, look, I guess we're going to wind it down with Mack here. And I'm going to raise a little hell, praise a little Dell for the last 30 minutes of the show, and get some things off my chest from the weekend. Mack, any closing words?
Man, all I can tell you is go to Ticketmaster.com, or, hey, if you got a break today, you're in the Jackson area, just walk up to the Coliseum box office, get you tickets for Friday and Saturday night. Now, Thursday night, the Bull Extravaganza, all those tickets will be on sale at the box office. You can't get Thursday night tickets online. They're at the box office, period. But Friday and Saturday night, you can go ahead and secure your seats through Ticketmaster.com or at the Coliseum box office. It's your second annual Killebrew International Pro Rodeo, benefiting the Killebrew Ag Foundation and securing America's future in agriculture.
I love it. I love it. Hey, look, don't forget, there ain't a bad seat in the Coliseum.
Oh, no. No.
There's not an obstructed view.
People are probably wondering, like, well, what are the ticket prices? Guys, Thursday night at the Bull Extravaganza, it's just all general admission. You get $20 tickets.
I figured it was
period.
Something like that.
It's all general admission. Friday and Saturday night, go to Ticketmaster, walk up to the box office early. They're different tickets depending on where you want to sit, but I'm telling you, just get in the roof, get under the roof of the Coliseum. There's not a bad seat in that building.
No, I agree. Mack Ginn, looking forward to seeing you this weekend, brother.
You too, my friend.
All right, guys, we'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. Don't forget, guys, Chip Matthews Experience comes up next. He's live here in the studio every Monday and Tuesday, 9 to 10 p.m. He's got an old newspaper out there ready to do it old school and actually read the newspaper on the radio. I'm kidding. He does have a newspaper, though. Hey, this segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Foremost Foundations and Construction. For foundations, Foremost uses innovative polyfoam technology that, with great precision, can in fact correct and restore sinking concrete quickly. Around all this Yazoo clay around here, this is probably a really good business to get into. Look, they provide solutions for long-term that can improve the ability of the actual soil to support the foundation or concrete slabs. Thanks to their specially designed rigs, they can drill and lift without the need for heavy excavation. The team has decades worth of experience, and they've tried all the old tricks. They know what works, and they have weeded out those that do not. Experts in foundation repair, polyfoam, drainage, seawalls, and retaining walls. Foremost Foundations. That's Foremost Foundations with a S.com. Foremost Foundations and Construction Company. Check them out. We all probably got some foundation issues. I know out at my folks' house in South Jackson, Byram area out there, when it gets hot, the front door swells a little bit, and you can't open the front door during the summer months because the foundations has slightly shifted over there. So good stuff there. Completely unrelated, John Cena has just followed your boy on X. I have no clue what I have gone viral enough for John Cena to follow me. I guess I will have to unpack that after the show. But over the weekend, since Donald Trump, since our great president, as Kim Wade says, the real president, by the way, since he got charged with 30 34 felonies. By the way, I am working on a new Donald Trump shirt today. I should have the design released later. We're of course we're gonna own the word felon. We're gonna take that word away from the Democrats. We're gonna take all the venom out of that word. We're gonna celebrate that. Yes, I am voting for a felon. I have no problem. And frankly, if you've been listening to this show for any amount of time, you know that I have been standing up for felons' rights, nonviolent felons' rights since day one. I think they should be able to own a gun. I think they should be able to vote. I think they should be able to do all that stuff. I don't even think you should have to designate on a job application if you're a felon or not. They can do a background check and they can figure it out if they need to. But I don't think they should be able to weed you out. I fully support felons. I support felons getting their voting rights back. And it's just by the grace of God that Clay Edwards is not a felon. Multiple times over. Just didn't get caught. So I'd be quite the hypocrite if I somehow automatically started judging the great Donald Trump because he got set up with some fake, sham, New York nonsense. But with all that said, he has raised, let me get my big voice on here, $200 million. $200 million since those verdicts came down Thursday. That, suffice to say, that is the largest amount of money raised by any political person in that short of a time ever. Did you know last month, before even these nonsensical felonies came down, that Donald Trump raised $50 million only being able to go politicking one day a week? You know how much Joe Biden raised in that same amount of time, being able to politic 7 days a week? I mean, let's be honest, he can't politic 7 minutes. He can't talk too. Joe raised $25 million, being able to do it however he wants. And our good friend, my Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump, raised $50 million. He's now raised $250 million in the last 40 days. $250 million. Now, unfortunately, none of that's going to matter if the Democrats are allowed to steal the election again. Anybody who thinks that 2020 wasn't stolen, I got some oceanfront property in Jackson, Mississippi I'd like to sell you. Right along the Pearl River. Oceanfront property. You see bodies and all kind of stuff floating down the river. You never know what you'll see. Fishing off your back porch there in the Pearl River. Well, anyway, to that point, I'm going to bring this back home to central Mississippi here. Bennie Boom Boom Thompson. Y'all know who Bennie Thompson is. I don't have to give you the background. Has decided to put a bill forth that would take away Donald Trump's Secret Service protection if he were to go to jail. Basically what they're trying to do is he's sending a veiled death threat to Donald Trump. If you and I said that about Bennie Thompson, Secret Service would pay us a visit. So Tate Reeves made a post about this. And I commented under that post, and I'm trying to find it now. Tate Reeves called Bennie Thompson out. So kudos to Tate for calling out the Marxist Bennie Thompson. But I'd say, I'm pretty sure, and maybe somebody can correct me on this. Does Bennie Thompson get Mississippi Highway Patrol protection when he's in the state? Do the troopers have to ride around with him when he's in the state? I know Roger Wicker has a trooper dedicated to him. He's a senator. I believe Michael Guest gets security. I believe if Michael gets it, I'm pretty sure Bennie gets it. I think we should pull Bennie's MHP protection. Let him fend for himself. I mean, why should my tax-paying dollars protect that Marxist? Okay? People, like black folks, love to tell me on my social media, stand 10 toes down on what you said. Stand 10 toes down. I do stand 10 toes down. I'm standing 10 toes down right now. I think Bennie Thompson should have to stand 10 toes down on what he says. I don't have no security. Well, I mean, I'm secured. I can assure you. You can F around and find out if you want. But I stand behind the words I put out there. Bennie Thompson should as well. Here's Tate Reeves' response. It says, Bennie Thompson has crossed the line. Well, he's a habitual line stepper, by the way, Tate. He's a habitual line stepper. Bennie Thompson has crossed the line that is embarrassing for our state and dangerous for our country. his work to remove Secret Service protection from Donald Trump and leave him vulnerable after a sham trial begs the question, is it his goal to make it more likely that his political opponent is assassinated? Truly shameful outrage and a new low for the left wing in America. Bennie Thompson owes Mississippians and every American an apology. And that was in response to Jonathan Turley's tweet that says, in a race to the bottom this week, Rep. Bennie Thompson, Democrat, Mississippi, has pulled ahead. The ranking Democrat of the House Homeland Security Committee just introduced the Denying Infinite Security and Government Resources Allocated Towards Convicted and Extremely Dishonorable, Disgraced Former Protectees Act to end Secret Service protection for Trump. I love how they keep using all these words. They just keep wanting to drive the point home. I told y'all the day after this happened, hell, I said it on my live feed in live time as this verdict was coming down. What the Democrats are going to do, they want to make Donald Trump's new first name convicted felon. And every time they say Donald Trump is going to be preceded by convicted felon, they want to drive that into your head. So I say we take another Democrat's advice. You know, I hate Eminem. I've never thought he was a good rapper. I just do not like Eminem. I see he got a new album out right now. Everybody's fawning all over it. To hell with Eminem. But when he was playing a character in a movie, when he was playing a rapper in that 8 Mile movie, that battle rap movie, he gave some really good advice at the end of that movie. Or he did something that I've actually used and I still use to this day. And I know I've said it on the show before, but I'm going to say it again for those who have not heard it. At the end of that movie, he's doing that battle rap with old dude, Mekhi Phifer or whatever his name was, and he knows that he's about to call him trailer trash. He knows he's about to call his mom a dope fiend. He's going to say he's poor. He's going to say all this stuff about him. He's going to mention that he had sex with his girlfriend. He's going to do all this stuff. So what did Eminem do? Or his character, Rabbit, I think was his name in that movie. He took all that from him and said it about himself before he could say it. And it rendered those words completely useless. And that's what we're going to do with this convicted felon nonsense. We're going to wrap our arms around it, and we're going to wear that with a badge of honor for Donald J. Trump. We're going to wear a convicted felon. We're going to make it a thing. Just like on my Twitter feed here, on my bio, it says, washed up has-been, legend in my own mind, GED grad, saving Jackson one show at a time. But you don't think I heard the stuff y'all was saying about me after I got out of the nightclub business when I started the Save Jackson page? Oh, he's just a washed up, has-been, legend in his own mind. You know what? As a matter of fact, I am. As a matter of fact, I am. Now more people know me for this than knew me for running nightclubs, so I guess I've done pretty well for myself. And I am a GED grad. Do you know that my GED is worth more than your JPS diploma? That's right. I graduated from college at Hines the same year my class graduated high school. I was just too smart for y'all. GED worked better for me. I couldn't be told what to do by a bunch of teachers I knew more than. Just be like that sometimes. Anyway, that's Mississippi in a nutshell. Oh, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't get to this story before I get out of here today. Jane Avenue in Jackson has got to be the deadliest street in the city right now. Bobby Rush Boulevard, it'll catch up. It'll catch up. But right now it's Jane Avenue. In the last, what's today, Monday? In the last 10 days, last Friday, not this past one, but the previous one, Memorial Day Friday, you had the two black kids roll up just randomly shooting at and carjacking that white family over there. It went super viral. Got caught on a Ring doorbell. It's been played on every news show in the country. That was Jane Avenue. Then there was a murder at the Mini Mart. Sounds like a country song. A murder at the Mini Mart a couple days later. I think that was on Sunday, on Memorial Day. And then this past weekend, Jane Avenue, by the way. And then this past weekend, there was another robbery at a park on Jane Avenue. First off, just in the last few weeks here, we've had a lot of murder and robbery in city parks. Avoid city parks. Remember going back to Easter at Battlefield Park? Like a 8-year-old kid got shot and 3 other people in that mass shooting at the Easter birthday party thing. Yeah, I hadn't forgot about that either. Then The guy got killed at the tennis park at Palm Bridges by that guy. And now a woman was at the park on Jane Avenue with her 3-year-old child having a picnic or doing park stuff, whatever it may be, playing on the playground. Some thugs, some Jacksonians, some little Talibanians roll up in a Chrysler 200, not even a Chrysler 300. It tells you what we're dealing with here. It's like somebody not even being able to afford an Altima having to drive a Sentra. They pull up in a Chrysler 200. Got ski mask on because, man, these folks love their mask. I don't know if they're trying to hide their identity or they're still scared of COVID. They get out. They arm rob this woman who's at the park with her kid. They steal her car. And what do? They run over the 3-year-old kid with the stolen car. That's Jackson, Mississippi. That sums it up in a nutshell right there. And you know where? Thank you to my buddy Michael for pointing this out to me. Do you know what's right across the street from that park? Do you know it's right across the street from that park that's located on Jane Avenue? Oh, yeah, before I tell you that, last year, y'all may remember my whole skit about avoid snow bunnies that hang out on Lynch Street, the white girl. Her and those guys kicked in that door. They killed that man. They kidnapped that baby and got arrested on Lynch Street. That was Jane Avenue also. The Jackson Police Department training facility is located on Jane Avenue. What the hell is going on in Jackson, Mississippi? The Jackson Police Department is located on the deadliest street in the city, and we can't prevent this stuff from happening? That tells you the level of respect or lack thereof these thugs have for authority and for everything else. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day. Welcome back in. We got a minute or so left to land the plane here. I still got Mack in here with me. He's been over there playing on his phone. Mack, real quick, we got about a minute, man.
Okay.
Just give people a quick rundown again, one more time. What's going on with the rodeo this weekend?
Okay, so the Killebrew International Pro Rodeo in the Jackson Coliseum or the Mississippi Coliseum this weekend. Bull Stravaganza on Thursday night, $20 at the door on Thursday night, general admission, period. Now, Friday...
No extra fees.
No extra fees. Tax, title, license. Come on in and watch some of the most dangerous 8 seconds on earth with us. Then on Friday and Saturday night, the top cowboys and cowgirls are coming back to battle it out again in the Coliseum. Now, you can get tickets for Friday and Saturday night at Ticketmaster.com or at the Coliseum. Those tickets range in price from, depending on where you want to sit. But like you said earlier, there's not a bad seat anywhere in the Coliseum.
But the VIP is mighty nice.
Oh, the VIP is nice. The bullpen, that's pretty cool.
But we're out of time. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. I'll see you there this weekend. Peace out.
See you.